Hello and welcome to your basic JavaScript programming course for beginners. In this lesson, we will learn how to create HTML and JavaScript files. This is a basic setup for any JavaScript program when working with web development. Having an HTML file to work with and a JavaScript file which will contain all the code. To properly organize this, we are going to create a folder which will contain both files, making them easier to locate, especially when they have to work together. So right click, we then go to New, Folder. Now that we've done that, let's name our folder something suitable. For mine, I'm just going to call it JavaScript Test. This will contain all my files for testing out JavaScript. Now that we've done that, let's create the files which will contain the code and HTML. We first open Notepad++. You should be presented with this, a very simple and quite stark looking IDE. Before we create our files, let's make our Notepad++ more easy on the eyes. To do this, we go to Settings, Style Configurator, and we can change the type of style that we'll be working with by selecting Theme. Right now it's at the default, but of course you can change it by clicking on each option until you find one that's suitable, or using your scroll wheel to choose as you go along. I will be using Obsidian for the entirety of this course. This option highlights each code specifically, making it easy to see and therefore better for you as the learner watching through this video. Once you have chosen your ideal theme, click Save and Close, and this can be changed anytime. Now that we've done that and customized our Notepad++, let's create our HTML file. First, let's just hit Ctrl Save. Having done this, we'll then go to our desktop. We'll then go to our file, which will be here, JavaScript test, and then we name our HTML. We can simply call this HTML file something like browser, and then we select the type. We go to hypertext markup language file, which is our HTML file, and we click Save. Having done that, you'll notice a slight adjustment. Having chosen our preferred extension, when writing code, specific code will be highlighted a certain color because the program now recognizes what extension we'll be using. If you go to your JavaScript test folder, you'll find it inside here. Once it is opened, you'll see that there is nothing to show for it. This is because there is no code with it inside. You might receive the debug file for the first time, or you might not. However, the errors that I'm receiving currently are fairly mundane and therefore not necessary for correction. So don't feel that this debug.log text file means your program won't run. This is just a simple check to see if your code is in order, and as you can see, our program still starts, so our program will no doubt still work. Once we have done that and creating our HTML file, we go back to our program, we go to File, and we click New. This will create a second tab next to the HTML. This is a perfect way to work with both our JavaScript and HTML code. For now, let's go to our new one again. Now that we're here, we'll click Save As. We can call our JavaScript file anything just as before, so let's just call it JavaScript. And we of course change the extension to JS, which is the average JavaScript file. And we click Save. Again, you notice the slight indentation because it now recognizes this as a JavaScript file, and all suitable code will be highlighted accordingly. And there you have it, how to create your HTML and JavaScript files, as well as creating a folder for them all to work in. That concludes this lesson. In the next video, we'll enter in our HTML code which we'll be using throughout this course, as well as our first line of code in JavaScript.